Hello there, my name is Neo. Welcome to my channel, and today you're gonna get to watch me work on this set, Hot Pink Ombre with 3D flowers and a little bit of bling. Let's go. So I went ahead and actually mixed my own glitter acrylic here. I just grabbed any pink, light shimmery pink glitters that I could find and mixed it with some clear acrylic, so there's actually no color base. I wanted this to be slightly sheer because we're going to do a little something extra on top of it after. So I'm just applying a thin layer of this glitter acrylic. I got the glitters from like Michael's or so, nothing crazy. On this ring fingernail, this is on my red iguana hand. Her name is Melanie because she's hella melanated. So yeah, I'm just applying that on this finger, and then just making sure I'm cleaning up the sidewalls. I like to do that. It just helps with keeping the shape of the nail while you're working. It helps after you're applying the acrylic so that you don't have to file so much. Whenever I'm working on my practice hand, I usually don't e-file, I just hand file. So making sure that the sidewalls are clean helps to keep the shape, and then just helps so that you don't have to do a lot of filing after. It's just a lot of finish filing on top to make sure that the finish is smooth. So that's what I'm doing. You'll see me swiping the side a lot because I'm just trying to make sure that I don't lose my shape. So on these other fingers, I'm going to be doing nude to hot pink ombre, and the first color that we're working with is this really creamy, smooth hot pink. It's from Sugar and Cream, or Oh Snap Beauty, from the Sweet Vibes collection, and the color is called Girlfriend. I love Sugar and Cream. It's one of my favorite acrylic lines. So I'm just applying it to the tip and blending upwards just so that that transition isn't going to be harsh, just because the nude that I'm going to use is a little bit light and the pink is pretty bright. So applying it, making sure I kind of tap the top of that color just so it shears it out a bit, and then again cleaning my side walls. So I'm going to do that on all the remaining fingers, and then we'll get to the next step. So now that the pink has been laid, I am going in with another sugar and cream color. This is actually called Lemonade. It is one of my favorite nail plate colors, or like nudes to use on just like a bare nail. It's really, really pretty. It's slightly sheer. It's like a warm pinky nude kind of. I just really like it. But as you can see, as I'm trying to blend it, I have to kind of let it dry a bit before blending it down because it is so sheer compared to that hot pink, and we want a nice transition. So I'm applying it wherever I need a little bit more coverage, and then making sure that when you're ombreing, you want your bead to be slightly wet around the area where you're going to be dragging it down to blend. Once you're happy with the blend, you can go ahead and fill in your cuticle area. And then make sure to clean your sidewalls. I do find that sometimes when I am ombreing, I do get a bit of bulk right by the sidewalls of the natural nail. So just be careful with that. Always, always, always clean your sidewalls, just so that you don't get like a bulky nail bed and then a thin nail tip. And as you can see, I'm adding more of that lemonade color just to make sure that the blend is what I like. So I'm just gonna repeat that. And there's no wrong way to do it. There's no right way. Just making sure that if you see an area that doesn't look the best, you can always add a little bit more acrylic. And I'm working not so thin, but definitely not super thick, so that I can make those kinds of corrections if I see them. Cleaning your sidewalls and adding more of the lemonade nude color where I need more coverage. So this is what my ombre is looking like. I wanted to bring in more of that glitter. So what I'm gonna do is just take a very, very small amount of the glitter and swirl it over the nail in some random pattern. I just wanted to incorporate that glitter in the other nails in some way. It didn't really make much of an impact. I was thinking maybe I should just swipe that glitter all over the whole thing. But I was freestyling. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I'm just adding the glitter in to incorporate it into the other three nails. And now I'm clear capping, or encapsulating. I just say clear cap because it's easier for me to say. I work my clear cap sometimes from the cuticle, sometimes from the tip. It doesn't really matter to me. One thing that I do make sure to do is to push the acrylic in away from the sidewalls of the nail, because I find it helps to build more bulk on top, which helps to build my apex. So I don't swipe acrylic on the sides of the nail. I'm always pushing it towards the center. If you can see, I lay it and then I'm patting it back in towards the center. The side does get covered, but that way you absolutely helps to maintain your shape, and it helps to build up the product on top, which is what we want. We want a sturdy nail. And then if you work more wet when you're clear capping, then you avoid bubbles and it makes a smoother finish, so that when you're finished filing, you don't have a really bumpy nail. I just find that when the bead is a little bit more wet, then that works. I'm using actually Young Nails, not Speed Clear, Core Clear I think is what I'm using. I do like the Speed Clear, but this is the Core Clear, and I'm using the TheRedAcrylic's monomer. I actually really like that monomer. I've been using it for a little bit now. It is more low odor, but I do find that it helps to not make things a little bit runny, and it just works. I like the consistency a lot, so that's what I'm using to clear cap. And again, I'm just keeping the product in the middle of the nail on top of the actual nail so that we build that apex so that you have strength. Yes, this is a practice hand, so it doesn't really matter, but this is what I would do if I was working on a client anyway. So yeah, I'm just clear capping all 4 of these nails. One thing that I'd like to just get out, not to stress, but just to let everybody know, is that you don't have to be able to lay acrylic in 1 bead or 2 bead or 3 beads. Take as many beads as you need. As you see, I'm getting coverage over the nail, but if I'm looking at the side of the nail, like if I'm working on a client and I twist their finger sideways and I see that there's a little bit of a divot, or maybe I don't have enough product in a certain area, it is absolutely okay to go back and add more product. Please don't get in your mind that you're not a good tech if you can't lay acrylic in 1 bead. Like I can totally 1 bead a nail, but if I don't have the shape that I'm looking for, then you know there's absolutely nothing wrong with going back in, which is what you solely see me doing here. So just be okay with going in, check, and just, you know, work on yourself. Okay, so I've already gone and hand filed. The reason why I don't hand file on camera is just because it's really hard with the red iguana hand. It really sucks up dust like it's nobody's business. And I don't actually secure my tips down. I just kind of stick them in the wells. So filing is, as you can see, it's like moving around. I'm just wiping. Filing is a bitch, right? So sometimes I even take out the nail and just hand file it that way. So that's why you don't see me actually filing on camera, but I will try to get that film free. I just don't want to ruin my hand. So I've already hand filed, and I just used 80 grit, 100 grit, and then 180, and then I just buffed afterwards. So you see me just cleaning up like any acrylic that gotten on the hand, or and wiping off the dust with Young Nail Swipe. So now I'm applying a nail gem glue in a pot. It's from the Two Guys, and it's a no wipe gel glue. I really like it because it is no wipe. However, I always apply my gems this way. So I add a nail glue like this with a brush, or if it comes in a squeezy tube like the Mknomer gem glue, I do that. But then I always top coat afterwards. It's something that I saw Long Hair with Pretty Nails do when I first started doing nails, and it just made the most sense to me. I really hate having to polish around stones. I'm like not steady-handed in that way. So I'm applying the nail glue, and then I'm going to, I'm mattifying these nails. So after I apply this nail gem glue, I'm going to top coat with a matte top coat. I think it's the faded matte top coat from the same company, the Two Guys. And then we're just gonna add the stones on top. So here you see me applying random like Korean AB, crystal AB rhinestones, as well as some Swarovski, and then some specialty shape stones that I got from Amazon. I just thought that this set would look nice with a little bit of bling on one finger. So here are the neon pink Swarovski stones. I think these are SS 12s. I'm not sure. But I really like using this method to adhere stones because other types of glues, like the glue that you can add and then use like quick spray, I like to rearrange my stones a lot. Sometimes I change my mind. I love the idea that I can just wipe it all off if I don't like what I'm doing and it's not permanent and won't ruin the design. It gives you a lot of time to be creative. Sometimes it might run, so it's advised like you don't put a lot of the gem glue or a lot of the top coat on top, but I really do like the idea of having time to play around with stones. So I'm just adding the AB stones, different shapes, and some pink stones to tie in with the hot pink color all over the nail. Yeah. So I'm using actually a wax pencil to pick up my stones. This is my favorite thing to use. Tweezers or like a crystal katana, that's cool too, but I just feel like I get the most control with a pencil. If you need it to be sharp, you can just sharpen it. If you want to pick up like larger stones, you can just like run it on like a towel. It'll dull it out a little bit, but I usually just use a wax pencil, and I'm just applying random shapes, different size AB stones and colored stones, like in a swirl pattern, kind of to mimic the glitter that I put under the encapsulation earlier, just to tie it in, and I just thought it was cute. And once I was done applying the stones, you see me swiping the side walls just to maintain the shape. So the nail gem glue and top coat makes a really thick barrier for the nails to stick into. So it's good to just wipe the side walls before curing. And I have a matte nail with rhinestones on top, and I did not have to apply any top coat around those stones because that would be a bitch, okay? And I'm doing it again on the glitter finger. So I wanted to do some 3D flowers on this glitter finger, but I wanted to have crystal stone centers to the flowers. So the same thing that I did on that other nail, the ombre nail with the bling, I'm gonna do on this glitter nail. I'm gonna add the Two Guys No Wipe gem glue, and then I'm gonna put a matte top coat right on top of that gem glue, and before curing, add the stones and then cure, and then you're gonna have a matte nail. You don't have to paint around those stones and worry about touching the stones so that they're not shiny anymore. You have a matte nail with the stones perfectly set inside, and I find that this is really good. Usually when clients come back, it takes a really long time to get them out, the stones, so it works for me. And now I am making my 3D flowers. So these are like the most easy flowers that I know how to make. It's like the standard that I do when someone asks me to make 3D flowers. So I add a bead, a small bead of acrylic. I try to make sure that it dries out. So sometimes I'll actually blow on the nail just to make it dry a tiny bit. I place the tiny nail brush, I think it's like a size 4 or 6, I'm not sure, towards the stone, and then just press on the bead pretty much. And you want your brush to be more dry so that the bead can kind of hold the shape of the tip of the brush. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. And I've learned to not, like I'm doing right now, put a bead next to another. I try not to do petals next to each other, because sometimes if one bead is still not dry, if you add another wet bead next to it, they'll kind of leak into each other and you won't get like crisp petal shapes. So don't do what I just did now. I try to, if I can imagine, do every other bead, or if there's another flower, I'll go to another flower and do that petal and then come back. So you're gonna see me bouncing around as far as the petals go on this hand. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. You get a small bead. Some people dry out their beads. Sorry that this is out of frame, but some people dry out their beads a bit by touching it like on a towel. Sometimes I'll do that, or I'll just not pick up a lot of monomer and then press the bead. But if you are working more wet, like you see I'm going back to other beads and pressing just until the bead is dry. You can still kind of play with it. So I'm just going to be adding petals around each of the stones. Some of the flowers are going to be more small just for spacing reasons. Some of them are going to overlap. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever, you know, makes you happy. I just wanted to have something special with flowers on this one finger. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And as I finish this last petal on this tiny little tip of a flower here, that's pretty much it for this set. I'm just gonna let this air dry. Remember, we did put a matte top coat underneath, so we don't really have to do anything. And I really love the look of matte acrylic flowers on either a matte or a glossy top coat. So that's the final thing for this set. We just have a tiny bit of bling, a little bit of glitter. Remember, I did swirl some glitter under those other two ombre fingers, so there's a hint of that there, but I just thought that this was really pretty. The color, there you go, there's a real shot of what this color looks like. It's like an uber neon Barbie blue pink, and it's really pretty with the Swarovski crystals. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope you really like it. Here's a shot of it. It's a really pretty set, cute and girly, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.